Hello to you all and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, I kindly request you to subscribe so that you can continue getting more videos on Java from this channel. Today I'll be taking you through on how to create a Hello World program with Eclipse. To begin with, we need to understand that there are 5 steps that needs to be followed whenever we create a program with Eclipse. Step 1, we are required to create a project. Step 2, we are required to create a package. Step 3, we are required to create a class. Step 4, we are required to write our program. And lastly, step 5, we run our program. We are going to begin with the first step, which is creating a project. Assuming you have already downloaded Eclipse, you have installed Eclipse, and you have started Eclipse, you're going to see such a window. So there are 3 important sections that I would wish to explain. One is the Package Explorer window, where our projects are normally listed. So whenever we create our project, you always find it at this particular section. So for instance, you can see some sample projects there. The next is the editor window. This is where we normally write our code. So whenever we shall be writing our program, we shall be writing in this editor window. Now below here, we normally have several tabs that normally do different roles. For instance, if your program has an error, there will be always the problem window where you normally be getting your error. There's also the Java doc window, declaration window. There's also the compile window. Whenever you write your program, you'll always be getting the output below here. So I would want us to begin with the first step on how we create the project. We normally click on the file. If you have not done so, let's do it together. Click on file, then new, then project. Now there are 2 types of projects. One is the console project. The one below there is which involves an interface. We are going to be looking at that later. But for this one, because we are dealing with the console, we are going to click on the Java project. Now, Java project is a feature within Eclipse that normally helps us to configure as well as organize our different projects. I think I showed you the different projects that exist within this Eclipse. By creating a project, you're in a position to organize and you can be able to visit each and every project directly. So click on Java project. There's a new Java project wizard dialog that appears, and it normally helps us to specify the project configurations. So we are going to create the project name as Hello World. After that, we just need to click on finish, and you realize that the Hello World project has been created and has been added to the Project Explorer window or something. The next thing or the next step is on creating the package. So to do that, we need to right click on the project that we have just created. Then you go to new, then you click on package. So there's a window that pops up. We provide the package name. You can say, for instance, the package name in our case will be hello. Now, a package is a language feature within Java that helps us to control visibility within classes. As we move along, we are going to say that one Java project might be having multiple classes, and these classes might required to communicate amongst each other. So how you are able to call classes by use of a package, it helps us to control how you call or how the different classes relate to each other or call from each other, though it's a feature that we later look at. Then after that, we click on finish. The fourth step is on creating our class. So we right click on our package, we go to new, then you specify class. So we provide the name of our class, and a class is a blueprint of a real world object. Although we are going to later look at classes in details, what I would want us to understand at this stage is that Java, being an object-oriented programming language, visualizes everything in terms of objects. And objects is anything in the real world that has some state and has some behavior. And it's anything that we can visualize in the real world. Examples, we can talk of a car, we can talk of a person, we can talk of... So when you are building a blueprint of an object, when you talk of a person, you can be able to relate. You can visually or mentally have a person in mind. When you talk of an employee, you have a particular aspect of a person in mind. When you talk of a student, there's a representation of that in the real world that represents a student. So that blueprint of the real world object, that's what we are referring to as a class. So we can talk of a student being a class. But now, when we begin to populate the actual characteristics of the student, when we begin to populate the actual behavior or the actions a student can take, then that student becomes an object. Although those are concepts that we are going to be learning about. So we specify the class name. So in this given case, I will say hello world. And then we need to tick the public static void section. Normally, this is the method within which we write our programs. So for the program in Java to execute, we need this particular main method. It's the same as the main method we used to have in C programming. So ensure you tick on that and you click on finish. And if you have gotten to this point, you can pat yourself, maybe on your hand, on your chest, wherever, for making it this far. So the only remaining thing that we are supposed to do at this point is just now write our first basic program. So to write our first basic program, we need to say system dot out dot print, and then within the double quotes we can say welcome to hello world. that. So one thing that you need to understand, though I'll be explaining some of these things in another video, is that the system.out.print is a method that is actually used to output the information that has been typed within the brackets to the command screen. And that's the reason as to why we're using the system.out.print. Now there's normally the print, and we normally have the print ln. So the print just states that once the statement is printed on the screen, the cursor doesn't shift to the next line. But when you use print ln, the cursor shifts to the next line. So after that, the next step is on how do we compile. So we just need to click on run and wait, and you can see that it has displayed for us, welcome to hello world. So that is it for today. I look forward to our next video, where we are going to be looking into how can we create the OOP symbol using Java. Thank you, and see you next time.